your name was changed when you were 7, but when you were 8, something else happened to you. Now, your memoir is pretty much about what it's like to be a Russian Jew coming to America during the twilight of the Soviet Union. So on that point, tell us about your circumcision.
It was one of the worst circumcisions ever. I mean, I think there's like a top 10 worst circumcisions list, and I think Isaac comes out at number 2. You know, Abraham got him snipped, but I think I ruled the list.
How old were you when this happened?
I was about 8 years old. You know, I think that's a little too late to do it. So don't try this at home. You know, try to do it at age 8 days, I think is.
Yeah, I think that's the way to do it. Now, what does it say about your parents that they chose to circumcise you at 8 years old?
They really loved the Hebrew God, Yahweh. They were really into him, and they really wanted me to, you know.
But how come then this didn't happen in Russia as opposed to in America?
In the Soviet Union, you wanted to play down with all the anti-Semitism. You wanted to play down the fact that you were Jewish, so you didn't want to walk around with a big uncircumcised penis, or a small uncircumcised penis for that case.
We do have a trailer that Random House put out in advance of your book's debut on the shelves, and I want to show a clip of it.
Little failure? After the hundreds of books I've sold for Random House. After I've been translated into 1 language.
Canadian isn't a language, baby.
You don't know what you're talking about.
Look, I don't think of you as a failure. And I certainly don't think of you as little.
You're sweet. You're sweet.
And I have a surprise for you. I wrote my own book. It's coming out next week. Look.
I don't remember you taking this photo. I have a memoir coming out in January, and you, James Franco, are going to be stealing my thunder a little bit.
Don't think of this as a memoir. Think of this as an homage.
Homage?
Yeah. I want the world to celebrate our erotic journey.
So how did you meet your husband, James Franco?
Yeah, and when I saw him kissing Seth Rogen, a part of me died. I was like, you're only allowed to kiss me. I met him because he was, I teach at Columbia University, I teach creative writing, and he was one of my students. And you're not supposed to kiss your students, but
yeah, it's a bit of a snafu.
I just couldn't hold myself back. And then we got married recently. I remember a family dinner a couple of years ago when one relative said, in English for the benefit of some Americans who were there, and she said, I think Obama should be president, but of African country. This is white country. You know, and it was said not without any kind of, you know, implicit, I hate, you know, it's just this idea that we are a white country. And I think that the world that they entered just changed so rapidly for them that the idea of a black president just does not compute. And it's shocking for us to hear it, but for them, it's just their mindset.
And all throughout the book, you're right about how your dad warned you not to write like a self-hating Jew, but just yesterday, I have my computer here, you got dubbed a pathological Russophobe somewhere on the internet. Now, you say also your parents really monitor your reviews, and when they see a bad review, they think that's the true one. Will they see that and be proud of you then, since they're proud Americans?
Yeah, since they're proud Americans, they'd be very proud. This is a list that I've been trying to get on for years, the Russophobe list. You know, John Kerry's on it, Hillary Clinton's on it, a lot of people. A lot of wonderful people are on that list. So I've been trying to get on for years, and I have an advocate, Julia Ioffe, who writes for the New Republic. She covers Russia for them. She's been, on my behalf, trying to get me on the list for 3 years now. And finally, yesterday, just in time for the publication of my new book, I am now officially a Russophobe. I went into this book with very conflicted emotions about my parents, but part of this book is I go back to Russia with them, and I haven't been back I go back to Russia every year. They haven't been back in 30 years. So I take them back, and I find out things about their lives, the difficulties that they faced growing up in Russia. And I don't want to give too much away from it, but it involves, you know, mental illness and Hitler and Stalin killing most of our family. And it's so heartbreaking that I begin to see them in a very different light. And I begin to realize that, in a sense, they did the best they could, and this was the best outcome for all of us. Even this journey with little failure and, you know, a little bit of boxing, and it still worked out as good as it could have been.